Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm out here filming in Everett, Washington, back in my hometown. I'm on vacation for 4th of July for a couple of days from class, so it's really nice to be out and enjoy the sunshine. I got a nice light breeze out here, just blowing everything around, especially all the limbs I just trimmed off my tree. Now, recently I had a company called Olight contact me. They wanted me to review one of their lights called a PL Mini. Now, normally these are really geared toward firearms, but being an airsoft reviewer and really big into the sport, I really have to think of this from a couple of different perspectives. One being, for the firearm world, how would I use this as a gun owner? And how would I use this in an airsoft light? The PL Mini is going to come in a very small container. Pretty tiny. I was expecting actually a bigger box when I got it in the mail. I didn't realize it was this small. This is the PL Mini. Clamps onto a lot of different rails, including your 1913 pick rail or a Glock rail. Comes with an adapter for that. But let's go ahead and sit down on the tech table. I'll talk about the specs, everything it comes with, and some of the functionality of the light. Also, for anyone who is an Olight member, you can get 40% off the PL Mini on July 27th of this month, so keep an eye out for that promotion. In addition, Olight will be having a 40% off sale for only 2 hours from 1 to 3 p.m. on July 30th. The new M1T will be promoted at 30% off from the 27th to the 30th, and all other products will be 20% off on Members Day. So this is the package the PL Mini is going to come in. It's pretty small. You're probably not even going to need to open the large package box in your mailbox. We can see the dimensions in the light are actually really small. We're going by inches here. We're at 2.41 by 1.23 by 1.06 inches. Very small light, easily one of the smallest on the market. Now, the biggest things the PL Mini is going to boast are 400 lumens of output. It's fairly bright for a small light like this. You get a little over an hour and 10 minutes of lifespan, give or take. 75 meter throw distance. IPX6 protected, so it can take a little bit of abuse there. And it has a Cree XP lens, so these are really solid. The PL Mini itself, it's super small, and you can tell that right offhand. I've got like medium-sized hands, and it doesn't sit very big in my palm at all. It comes attached with the little Glock rail on it. It actually comes with the standard pick rail as well, and you see it's got the little 1913 printed on it there. And it'll actually come with 2 little extra screws here, and they're both dipped in Loctite. Now, I found that the Glock adapter actually fits on just about everything. It's a little bit skinnier than the 1913 adapter, so it'll really fit on just about anything. So I'm just going to leave it on here. The light does have a low battery indicator. This little speck right here will light up red when the battery is getting low. Operation of the light is straightforward. You've got little push buttons on either side. You can tap it to turn it on, tap it to turn it off, and that works on both sides as well. Or you can hold it for about a half a second and turn it off when you release. To charge the light, it does come with a magnetic charging adapter. It does have the reverse polarity of other chargers from Olight, so it's only compatible with this light. And it does go to USB too, so it's really simple to plug into an external battery or a computer or wall outlet, whatever works best for you. The charger is going to have an indicator as well, so when you're charging it, it's going to appear red, and when it's fully charged, the indicator will turn green. Lastly, you'll get this little fold-out instruction manual here. Gives you all your basic information about your Olight. Now, there's a few features I wanted to go over. There's one that's listed, the first thing on the back of the box is the step-down feature. It's supposed to go from the full 400 lumens of brightness when you turn it on, down to roughly 60 lumens. Now, it doesn't really say how long this takes, so I decided to test it out. Now, at first I wasn't really sure how the step down was going to work, so I tested this out. It takes about 14 minutes to fully step down to about 60 lumens. Now, you can kind of see this in this sped up video with my clock next to it. Now, before I used the PL Mini, I needed to know what its capabilities were. I decided to test it in a few different environments. I started by testing the light out outside in my driveway. You can see that at about the 10 or 15 foot distance, it does have a pretty solid bright spot in the middle and kind of fades out near the edges of where the light focuses in at. This next test, my apartment building actually has an auditorium. It's fairly large, about 60 feet wide. I'm about 10 or 15 feet from one of the walls, shining it across the room. At this distance across the room, the bright spot in the middle really disappears and it just becomes a large light source. The PL Mini from this distance illuminates the room really well. You can see quite a bit of detail. For this last test, I went to the park that's just adjacent to my apartment. You You can see as I move the light around the park, it actually illuminates everything really well. Up close, everything is extremely bright, really visible. Even far away past 100, 150 feet on the far side of the park, you can still make out detail pretty well. You can see as I move the light over the memorial in the center, it can illuminate it really well. You can see a lot there. And even the small playground on the right side, when I move the light over there, you can still see the playground pretty well, and potentially any person that might be standing in that area. What firearms do I own that this will fit on? First shot is a Walther PK380. Chambers cleared, nothing in there. And I was disappointed to find that it unfortunately does not fit on there. Just another 6-7 millimeters, and it'd probably fit on one of the rails there, but it's just not quite enough. So unfortunately, it's not going to fit on every firearm out there. Now that being said, the light is going to fit on pretty much any rifle out there with a rail. My Colt 6920 is a good example of something it can easily fit on. Although light is more intended for pistols, it'll fit on rifles just as well, and be very low profile doing so. Now the airsoft side of things, which my channel is really more geared toward, is where I wanted to focus this light and all my thoughts on. This is a KWA USP full-sized. I do have a rail adapter on here. The USP series, they do require an adapter to fit any kind of normal accessory on there. So I have decided to put this on there, and it actually works quite well. It's a nice size. It's really easy to reach with my index finger here, being a right-handed person, or left-handed if I want to do it with my left index finger. I'm not as strong with that finger, unfortunately, but it works rather well. Now, if I were to take this into my local CQB field, Eagle Freak Airsoft, it'd be a fantastic little item to shoot in there. Really easy to maneuver, good in close quarters, and I'd have a very bright light, probably brighter than any of the cheaper airsoft lights anyone's going to use in there. 400 lumens is going to go a long way in a dark room. But if I want to take this out to, say, a night airsoft game, a lot of games require you either have a light, a tracer, or both. So tracer, that's a whole different story, but a light, you're probably going to go out on the field with probably more magazines than you would for CQB. I mean, me personally, I'm going to go out there with probably 6 to 8 magazines. That's going to be a decent amount of weight. I don't want to have a big bulky light on the side of my gun. The PL Mini being only 60 grams is going to add close to no weight to my loadout. It's small and it's pretty simple to maneuver out there. Even in the dark, you just hit a little button and you're all set to go. You don't really see what you're doing. So this is my Echo One RDP. It's also known as a Spectre M4 in the real firearms world. And I can simply pop it on the right side rail here. Now, it's small, maneuverable, extremely compact, doesn't add a lot of size or weight to the firearm at all. So if I want to just really quickly light someone up with a light, it's very easy to do just with a flick of my thumb. For only about $80, this is kind of a no-brainer. I feel like if you're going to buy this for an airsoft loadout, why not? 80 bucks? It's probably a lot cheaper than some of those bigger, bulkier lights you're going to buy for your airsoft gun that aren't going to work as well and tend to be not as bright. A lot of those I've seen out there for $60 to $100 for only about 200 to 300 lumens. About 2 years ago, I attended a war sports game at Camp Rylea. It was a ton of fun. We ended up having a night game that evening, and it was pitch black out. Prior to that, I had actually purchased a 200 lumen light. It was about probably 5 or 6 inches long, had a pressure switch, which I liked, but it was large. Took up a lot of room on the gun. It was only 200 lumens, so it's half the output of this. It was okay, it worked. I could see my targets out there, but the size was a lot bigger. It's quite a bit heavier. And for 20 bucks more, I could have had something that was double the output, a lot smaller, and it was actually easier for me to maneuver. The pressure switch is fine. I could hit it right here with my fingers. That's why I've got this little tape on here, a little fabric tape on here. But be able to hit it with my thumb real fast, it's just more comfortable to me than actually maneuvering my hand around even more to really grip that pressure switch. So for me, I feel like the PL Mini, no matter what, is a win. So the pros of the light. Pretty inexpensive, only about 80 bucks. Very lightweight, really bright. 400 lumens is fairly bright, I feel like. You can get much brighter, but you're definitely paying a little bit more, and you're going up on size as well. It's easy to install, really simple, just flick right on. Can't get a whole lot easier. Fits on a lot of different firearms and airsoft guns. switch for both left and right-handed users on either side. Just in case I have to go weak-hand, for me, that's kind of a plus. It's really rare, but I do it very occasionally for depending on the circumstance. The battery being internal is extremely easy to charge. You don't have to take it off your gun. You just simply click the magnetic charger onto it and it'll charge. Now that kind of leads me into some cons or things I might actually change about the Light or add to it. It only can charge via the charger from USB. There isn't the quick change CR123 or anything like that. You can quickly swap into here. So if your light goes out, you have to wait for it to charge. Now for me, that's really the only con. For my uses, as far as airsoft and firearms go, in a life or death circumstance, I'm probably gonna have this charged already. Going to the airsoft field, I'm gonna have plenty of time to charge it beforehand, and I probably won't even use it for an hour. So not really a big con for me. Something I would add to this, however, though, is the ability to do a strobe. Maybe hold it for 3 seconds and have it automatically go strobe or something along those lines. The other two options that Olight does offer, the PL1 and PL2, both have a strobe option. Ultimately, I have to give this a grade. I'm gonna go really high on it. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Really small cons, one thing I'd add to it, but those aren't big things. It's an extremely bright light, compact, very affordable, and it fits on most airsoft guns and firearms. So I really don't have any big complaints about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Prodigy from Kilo 23, and I'll see you guys next time. You know, my cat loves being in my videos, as you can obviously hear.